I work for the North Carolina Statewide Independent Living Council. And I also have my own nonprofit called Women Embracing Abilities Now Charlotte, which is the sister chapter of Wayne, Baltimore, founded by Janice Jackson. Right now, we're focused on women's health and accessibility and getting GYN care and breast health. And of course, just basic health care in general, primary care physicians, just overall, we want better and equal access to health care and medical diagnostic equipment across the board. I would say my personal path to advocacy started actually when giving birth, having my first child, when I had my daughter, having to be lifted and carried and put on the exam table, my dignity being stripped away, getting my prenatal care, and not knowing any other women with disabilities that had children post-injury or any women with disabilities that had babies, period. I had no access to them. So I did some research to find out what, I knew they had to be out there somewhere. So I just did some research to find out what their experience was and what their story was like, and very similar. So I just decided that something needed to be done about it. Accountability when it comes to accessibility. And that's from healthcare services. First of all, that's my main thing, but also with airlines as well. I had an experience coming to the NIPPLE conference that I realized that the accountability is not there. The buck is being passed in those areas, especially because of healthcare and airline access. Nobody wants to take accountability for the way our equipment is mishandled, the way our bodies are mishandled. So I would say accountability is
Wow.
just as important as accessibility. Yeah, we're human. Like, treat us like we're human, versus calling us by what we use. There's a wheelchair coming. It's you have a person who uses a wheelchair, and that wheelchair is an extension of their body. It helps us with our independence, but see us as human beings, while you're acknowledging that we use durable medical equipment and things of that nature. But, just remember that we're human beings. I just think, just from those experiences, just not being treated like a person and more like an object, just really has me in my feels right now. So I think that's really, really, I'm going to drive that one forward, going forward, remember we're human. On Instagram, my podcast is Colors of Disability Equality. So CODE. You can find me under my name, Monique Stamps, on Facebook and IG. And then my nonprofit is Women Embracing Abilities Now Charlotte. Just type that in on Facebook, IG, and that's where you'll find me.